If I could only make one plant-based recipe for the rest of my life, it would be this one. Not only is this the most popular recipe on my entire blog, but this is the recipe that I always bring to my friends who just had a baby, to people when they come over for dinner at my house, this is what I make, or if I need to bring something to a potluck. It's my go-to recipe, and I'm about to share it with you. It's perfect for meat eaters, and it's perfect for vegans, and it's called my lasagna soup. Now I'm gonna show you how to make this recipe in the Instant Pot, but if you don't have an Instant Pot, don't worry, you can easily make it over the stove instead. I'm just a set it and forget it kind of gal. And personally, I always double the recipe for my family of 8. I'm gonna cook it how it calls for on the recipe, and then just secretly double it when you're not looking. I'm gonna use my awesome chopper to chop up 1 onion. Then I'll add it to the Instant Pot, and I'm gonna turn on my saute function. I like to put the water in my container so that it takes out the rest of the onions. Perfect. Next, we'll add in 4 to 5 cloves of garlic. And I'm going the old-fashioned way today. We'll mince the garlic. And I know it's better for you if you like chop and stop on the garlic, but sometimes when I'm putting dinner together, I just don't have the time to do it. Heck, the fact I'm using fresh garlic is like, it's a treat. Usually I just buy the pre-minced kind. Next, we'll add 2 teaspoons of Italian seasoning, then 1 teaspoon of onion powder, a half a teaspoon of paprika, and I'm gonna stir this up. Woo! It's all smoky. It smells like Christmas. It smells so good. Now that the onions are translucent, I just went ahead and turned off the saute, letting the spices kind of heat up as well. Next is 1 teaspoon of salt. Yes, it's 1 teaspoon, and it's why it's so good. I use light salt, so it's not as much salt as regular salt. Next, we'll add 2 tablespoons of tomato paste. You can also add more to taste if you would like. Next is a half a cup of red lentils. Now, one of my dear friends, Angela, actually prefers to use regular green lentils in this recipe, and it still turns out great. In fact, it turns out more like a soup. These red lentils are gonna thicken, so it makes it really thick, kind of like lasagna's thick. But if you want to use green lentils, it will just be more soupy, but just as delicious. So don't feel like they have to be red. Next, you'll add 5 cups veggie broth, and I'm gonna do the water and then the veggie broth powder instead. And again, I'm using this Thrive chicken broth, which is vegetarian or vegan, because I bought it and I want to use it up. But usually I use the better than bouillon flavor. And today I'm just trying this out, seeing if it's gonna taste the same. I'll let you know. So that would be 5 teaspoons. I'm always generous with my teaspoons. I don't like level it off perfectly. We want to mix that up really, really well. So let's mix it up. Hey, real quick, have you grabbed your free 1-week meal guide? It is a full week of delicious whole food plant-based recipes, and I even include a shopping list. So if you haven't already grabbed it, make sure to click on the link below. I also switch out this meal guide every single season. So if you grabbed it before, grab it again. You won't regret it. Next, you'll add 1 cup of marinara sauce, or any of your favorite typical tomato sauce you would put on pasta. And so 1 cup of this. And I like to use the water if I'm finishing off a can. Shake it up. Next, we have a 1/4 cup of nutritional yeast and a half a cup of canned coconut milk. Now I have some leftover coconut cream that I just want to use up. So I'm going to use this instead and alter the measurements, but it's a half a cup of coconut milk. You can do light or regular, or you can also swap this with a unsweetened plant milk if you would like. Soy milk would be the better option, but because it's such a small amount for a large soup, I don't stress about the fact that it's coconut milk. It's a small amount of saturated fat per serving. Next, we'll take 6 lasagna noodles and then with our hands, just cut them apart. So into little bite-sized pieces. You don't want like a big chunk of a lasagna noodle. I usually make my kids do this part. When we're cooking this for Sunday dinner, it's their favorite part. I usually have them cut it and then cut it in half. The best part about this recipe is I always have these ingredients on hand. It's really easy to keep these ingredients on hand. Therefore, I can make it pretty much anytime. And I've even used regular noodles instead of lasagna noodles as well. which is in one of my other previous videos, actually. I forgot to mention a little trick I have. If I didn't have enough marinara sauce, I'll just use more tomato paste. Since I'm doubling the recipe myself, my kids had opened up my marinara sauce, and so I'm just using more tomato paste, and it usually turns out great. It's also a little bit saltier than usual, so maybe with this type of bouillon, don't overdo it. Just measure exactly a teaspoon. All right, let's cook it. And the best part is you only have to cook it for 5 minutes. Okay, so we'll cook this pressure high 5 minutes. There we go, start. Now I've made this recipe so many times, and one time I made it in the Instant Pot and then went out for 3 hours to do another activity, came back, and the noodles were a little soggy. So you do wanna make sure that you're gonna eat it within a half an hour of it cooking in the Instant Pot. Otherwise, it does get soggy if you let it sit there for a while after it's cooking. So you'll wanna make sure that instead of doing the natural release, that you manually release all the pressure so the noodles don't get soggy. Okay, it's been done for 10 minutes. My kids came home from school and I got a little distracted, but now let's go ahead and manually release it away from the cupboards and away from my children. That's not safe. All right, now it's time to open it up. And we're gonna add in the greens. This is just some kale from our garden. And then I had some leftover frozen spinach. Crumble it up. I love when it's frozen spinach because then it cools the soup down all at the same time. Now, sometimes the burn function does go on. It did not for me today, but every once in a while it does, and it's fine. It just turns it off, and I opened it up, and I still eat it the same way, even if the burn function came on. I don't know why. Every once in a while that happens, but for the most part, it doesn't. All right, and then we'll add in the lemon juice. Take our lemon and just squeeze it just to brighten it up, and you're welcome to add pepper as well.
You make this like every Sunday.
Like make this like every Sunday.
It's good. It's amazing.
It's amazing. It's as amazing as mom.
It's as amazing as mom.
Yeah,
I'll give it an 8 out of 10.
10 out of 10. A 10 out of 10.
Could use a bit more noodles, but other than that, pretty good.
This is such a great go-to recipe. If you are brand new to plant-based, definitely try this recipe first. You will not regret it. You won't miss the meat. You won't miss the cheese. It's so good. There's so much flavor. I love it. It's just a go-to. It's always a good one.
It's so yummy.
You love it?
Mm-hmm. It's amazing.
As always, the recipe for lasagna soup is linked below, along with more information about our membership if you need more help and support. If you love this video, I know you'll absolutely love my other video where I show you my top 10 Instant Pot recipes. So make sure to check that one out as well.